This is my 55-gallon tank. I'm going to show you some different things today. Why you should not buy a kit at one of these big box stores. This was a 55-gallon kit, and I'm going to explain to you what I've done. First of all, I want to show you I've replaced the air pump down there. There's lots of things in boxes just full of chemicals and things just everywhere boxed up. Because I was going to be moving, and it looks like I'm staying still. Let me try and sit down here, because I do have a bad back. Okay. So the reason why I'm saying not to buy one of these 55-gallon kits that I did was because I proceeded to realize that everything in here besides the tank was junk. I did do a ton of research. Like my first tank was a 15-gallon Fluval Flex that you can also see on my channel. And I actually still love that tank. It's been a great little tank. I'm making some big changes to it right now because I had a horrible algae bloom going on. So I'm making doing like a big reset on that tank right now, and I've lost some fish in there as well. So, but in this tank, back to this tank, it came with one filter rated for a 55 or a 60-gallon tank. I'm not sure. It was top fin, I believe. I'm going to try and stay away from brand names, but I don't want to disparage any company out there. But I have two Seachem Title 110s. These filters, I'm going to be off on the money here, but these filters run about $60 or $70 on Amazon. I pretty much buy everything on Amazon. I don't have a car. So occasionally when I get to a big box store, or we only have one LFS local fish store here in my area, and I don't drive, so Ubers are expensive. So I rarely get to the local fish store. A buddy of mine works at a big box store, but he is an expert at everything. I call it PetSmirk. But he is extremely knowledgeable about everything fresh and saltwater. We actually may end up becoming roommates. I met him a couple of years ago when I first started the hobby. He was working there at PetSmirk. And we became friends, and I've been texting him, and we're kind of looking at different living situations that we're both at right now. I think I'm going to stay where I'm at anyway, but back to the tank. So I replaced this heater. This is an Orleshi brand heater. It's very cheap off Amazon, and it was working better than the top fin heater that it came with. Heaters aren't cheap either. So I went ahead and replaced everything. I bought, where did I put them? I just had them out here. I bought Hygger 957 lights and Aquarium Optibright lights because I knew I was eventually going to want live plants, and I didn't think the stock lighting was going to do it. So what we've got up here are the two Seachem Title 110 hang-on back filters, and then we've got the plastic hoods. We've got the feeding port, There's lots of water movement in here because these filters move at a lot of water. I just put this air stone in last night. This air stone is very lame because it's sitting right up there at the top. And I can't get it weighted down. I'll have to figure something out. I know it's pretty lame there. Even this one won't sink all the way over to the bottom. It's just not heavy enough, and the pump is all the way over down here. This new pump that I bought, so it's traveling a long way, and it's also, and that's also what's pumping this, because as you can see, I've got it's too dark in there, but anyway, I've got two air lines going out there. But anyway, so the heater, the lights, the pumps. The filters. Everything just became out. The stand itself. It's a pretty nice wooden stand. It's very heavy duty. It's actually rated for a 75-gallon. So I should have put a mat under here. This was a mistake that I did not put a mat under here like I have in my 15-gallon. On that one, I came with the stand that comes with it. So things are going kind of hectic in there right now. I just did a water change this morning. This guy that was sick is still in the same position, but his He's been a little bit more active this morning. His colors are coming back just a tiny, tiny little bit. I don't know what's going on. This tank has never been more oxygenated. It has never had more live plants. I've just done 2 water changes. I've put in extra Seachem Prime and extra Seachem Stability. None of the other fish seem affected. In fact, a lot of the orange Corydoras and the Starby Corydoras have been seen sparring, breeding, mating. The T position that for the Starbys the other day that we saw them in. These male Corydoras, the orange Venezuelan Corydoras that were all over. This is the female, I think, because the female is the larger one. But they were all over her trying to get her to lay eggs, I'm assuming. I really don't know what that was. I've even seen, because there's only 2 gold lasers, there are 2 pandas. There's only 1 fairy Corydoras. That's a fairy Corydoras. That's my favorite fairy. That's my favorite Corydoras in the tank. There was 2, but 1 died, and my Pleco ate it. I'm trying to find one of my pandas. There's one. There's one back there, but he's kind of hard to see. I don't know. I can't see him. There's only 2 pandas in here. But then I've got 5 or 6 pygmy cories in my 15-gallon. I'm about to have 10 more because I want to fill out that school, and they fit so nice. It is not cramped in there whatsoever. I've laid down some baby tears, some fake baby tears on the hard gravel, the polished gravel. It's this exact same gravel. It's polished. So the barbels, just for anybody who's wondering, the barbels are not harmed and on these cory catfish. And even my golden longfin bristlenose pleco, lemon longfin bristlenose pleco, blue-eyed, oh my gosh, why can't they just give it one name back there? He lays on this gravel all the time, and he is not harmed. In fact, he's one of the most beautiful species if he was out right now. You can see him on other videos. He's one of the most beautiful species, most beautiful examples of a lemon longfin blue-eyed bristlenose pleco I've ever seen, and I've searched the internet. I mean, he is absolutely stunning. His finnage is perfect. There's no tears, no rips, or anything. Just absolutely healthy. But yeah, and then there's one of my pandas right there. But yeah, they love this flame java moss. Got more Christmas moss. I'm hoping they're the same thing for the 15-gallon because they do soak up a lot of nitrates, and I need that going on right now. But that's coming from Taiwan. That's coming from the same place that I ordered more. I ordered these Java ferns from a different carrier, but I ordered Java ferns from this place where I'm ordering more of this moss from, and giving them a second chance because I couldn't use any of the Java ferns that they had previously sent me. They bound the rhizome and the roots up in this thread so tightly, and I was trying to cut it off very delicately. I ended up just tearing off all the roots and just tearing up the rhizomes, and I could not use a single stem or rhizome. So it was absolutely a nightmare. But I gave them another chance because they had some Christmas moss there and I even questioned them. I sent them a note saying, "Hey, is Christmas moss the same thing as flame Java moss?" Because I love the formation of this moss. Regular Java moss is just kind of clumpy, and this kind of has the formation of a Christmas tree. If you get up there really close and look at the individual, what do you call them, leaves or sprouts of the moss itself, I think it's just a lot more beautiful than regular Java moss. And so that's why they have not clarified that yet. So, but anyway, that's the reason why I would choose not to go with a kit. I mean, I was still pretty new. I had the 15-gallon Fluval Flex, but that's an all-in-one kit too. It just doesn't come with a heater, but that's an all-in-one kit too. And so I wanted, the all-in-one, of course, and it sounded so cheap. But then whenever I went and replaced this filter and this filter and this heater was not expensive. This is an off-brand heater actually called Orlushy, and at least I think that's off-brand. And it's been working fine. I just angled it literally yesterday. It's been vertical, but I've always hated the look of an angled heater because it looks horrible to me. I don't know why, and yeah, it does. It's horrible. But once this jungle valve gets filled in, I'm hoping that it will hide more of this heater. Then I've got to find some way to get that weighted down. If I had another splitter, it might do it. It might have enough weight. So as soon as I get another splitter, it might hold enough weight to hold that down and eventually go behind that cave back there that my Pleco really seems to enjoy. He likes going back there. There he is back there. Let me see if I can zoom in. The zoom isn't working great. I've got 3 times in 10 times. Let's try 10. Yeah, I knew that was a mistake. That wasn't going to work. Let's go back to 1. Okay. Yeah, he's a gorgeous guy. I wish he was out in the open right now, but he's not. But anyway, again, that is the reason why I would not buy this, because you're gonna end up spending, if you want, quality components to your tank, you're gonna end up spending more money than what you're going to lay out. I mean, you could go with whatever they give you, and it would work. And I'm not dogging it or anything, but I'm just saying for the things that I wanted, the quality that I wanted, it's particularly the lights and the filters. I mean, the lights are fine. They're growing these plants. They're white LED lights. But I wanted different colors, and so I got the Aquarium Optibrights on the suggestion of a friend who works at that PetSmirk. And then I decided I wanted the high grade 957s. Those have literally not even come out of the box yet. So I've got to get these glass lids cut that I have, and then I don't want fish jumping, so I've got to get. It's just something I'm a little terrified of doing because I don't know if it's tempered glass or whatever it is, and then it could shatter, and I don't know why. I'm almost tempted to bring it to like a glass shop, measure it, and tell them how much I need to cut off, and because I have the sandpaper. I bought the sandpaper. I bought the glass cutting kit, I bought the gloves, I bought everything to do it, just like I've done with plexiglass before. The kit and everything. But yeah, and then I just never... Actually, I did do the plexiglass thing because I was modifying another hang-on back filter, the one that came with this, actually. I was modifying it to try to get more biological filtration, more room for biomedia, and it just wasn't working. The first chamber was bypassing... to where it wasn't flow. It was bypassing the plexiglass that I had put in, and it was not flowing over the biomedia, and so therefore it just wasn't working out. So I broke down and I bought these two Seachem Title 110s, which are fantastic filters. They have internal power filters, internal motors. I'm sorry. So that whenever you're doing your water changes, so I do mine about every once a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and then maybe once a week. And I try to do 1/2 at a time on the suggestion of a friend who works at PetSmirk, the same guy, that I try to only do 1/2, vacuum 1/2 of the gravel at a time. And this piece of driftwood is about halfway. This large piece of driftwood is about halfway. And then do the other half. I'll gravel the other half of the vacuum the next time, and just repeat that cycle back and forth. My biggest issue, what I'm going to be working on now, as I add more plants, particularly more ferns, and more Anubias, my biggest problem that I'm going to need to learn is the balance between the amount of light and the amount of fertilizers, both root tabs and liquid ferts. I'm going to have to learn how much to use, how often to use them. I'm using Easy Green. I use Aquarium Co-op Easy Green, just the liquid pump and the liquid ferts and the root tabs. Actually, I've been using API and Green Pro root tabs, but I'm going to be switching to Easy. I love Aquarium Co-op. I just kind of trust everything that they do, kind of like API. So I'm going to start using their root tabs, but I don't know. I think every 2 or 3 months it says to use, but then people are saying I need to use more because of the color of this Vallisneria that's coming up. So I'm getting all this conflicting information. I love the fact that I got my first leaf up here. It's hard to call these things leaves, but I guess that's what they are. They're not shoots, they're not runners. That's how they propagate. But I love it that it's got my first one that's actually touching the surface of the water. This one's kind of a straggler because it's out of the flow of this return of this pump. But no, as soon as this fills in, I think it'll fill out, hide that heater pretty well. And it'll be going in the direction that I want. I want to keep this jungle valve contained. If I cannot keep this jungle valve contained to this area, because my angelfish absolutely love it, and my 18 neon tetras love it as well. It's helping them to feel more secure and come out and play a little bit more. But if I cannot keep it contained to this area, then I'm going to take it all out. I am going to buy some big dragon stone to put to the right of this piece of driftwood that's in the middle, put it over here where this jungle valve is, and then start attaching plants to it. And Anubias, of course, whatever other plants, the ferns, of course. I mean, you could do ferns, you could do Anubias, you could do moss. This moss would look great. I'm sure there are all kinds of moss that I haven't even considered yet. So if I cannot keep this jungle valve contained, that's the route I will go. I love it. If I can keep it contained, I'm going to keep it 100%. I do like it. The height levels, I do like working with negative space a lot. So that's why you see some of these areas with negative space. I like to see the cories kind of running around and having fun down there in these little caves that they go by. Or natural caves. They're not actual caves, but you know what I mean. And then playing around in the flame java moss. It's they're constantly doing that all day long. It's a sense of it's a source of, I don't know, they forage on it all day long. They'll get buried up in there. It's a very interesting watch, particularly the cories. The rainbows don't generally go that far inside of it, but these cories have gone all the way in there, and there's actually a lightning bolt narite snail that lives in there. I only see him like once a week, maybe. But all of these cories, particularly these really small ones, but all of them will disappear in this java moss. It's so funny to watch. Because, I mean, food does get trapped down in there, and of course that's why they're going down in there to get it. But no, it's just that flame java moss really provides an endless source of entertainment for the fish and for me. I highly, highly recommend it. It's probably one of my favorite plants in this tank. And of course, it's excellent for absorbing nitrates. So yeah, I'm really liking it the way it is. This is, of course, you can see him a little bit better. His bristles are growing in slowly. I just wish he was out because his fins are so perfect, even with this polished gravel that people complain to me all the time that I shouldn't have. I understand sand probably would be best, but I mean, there's never been any fin damage, anything, so I'm okay with it. But I do understand the criticism. I would do it differently if I had to do it. I would also not get these Denison barbs. I had 6 and three died. I just heard the 55-gallon minimum for Denison barbs, and that's what I went with. So, but they were a mistake. If my friend comes and gets these Denison barbs and this bristlenose, then I'll lower my bio load because he has a group of roseline sharks that, well, he called them roseline sharks. I called them Denison barbs, but in India, I believe they're called mascarellas. And he said he has a group of roseline sharks that he'd like to add 3 to. And then this guy, he wants this as well, very, 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 very much. And so I would love to have a group of like 12 or 15 autosynclus, but I've had them before. They're hard to keep alive because, first of all, numbers, I think you need at least like 12 or 16 to keep, have a school of them. But the brown diatoms on these java ferns, and I'm sure it's going to happen on these Anubias. They look so great, and they almost look fake. They look so perfect right now, but I know it's coming, and it's coming for these java ferns back there already. These have only been here like a week, so I'd love to have autosynclus. These narite snails are not keeping up. There is one leaf on the far right there. You see that where that driftwood is?
Okay, the narrate snail can go up there, and he got to that one piece of that one leaf right there on the far right. Well, look at all the rest of this. It's got brown diatoms all over it, and the narrate snails are not getting to this. They're not doing anything on these ferns back here. I know they're eventually going to get this and maybe even this. I don't know. But I don't know. They say that it'll all eventually balance out, but I don't like those brown diatoms. Should I go ahead and get a group, like a 12 or 16 autosynclus? Can my tank handle it if I get rid of this? I mean, obviously this carries a big bio load, this pleco, and these 3 denizen barbs carry a big bio load. Then the angelfish are probably the next biggest ones. But could my tank handle it? Just getting in those autosynclus, I want to make them happy. Keep enough algae for them, supplement. But then there's also plenty of brown diatoms. I mean, gosh, it's all over the gravel. But I know that they will need supplemental algae. So what do you think? What do you think about that? I would love to have it. I love seeing autosynclus schooling, and I think when you have a group that size of 12, maybe even 16. They are really beautiful when they're schooling together. And besides these praecox rainbows, I really don't have that many schooling fish, because now that I'm down to 3 denizen barbs, I mean, they stay together pretty much like they should be doing, and they're healthy. But I can't imagine that they're too happy just only 3 of them. I mean, there's tons of space in here, and they're not using the space. They seem to be gravitating around this moss and this driftwood, even though there's tons of space for them. But I don't know. What do you think about the autosynclus idea? Getting, let's say, 16 of them and putting them in here. Maybe, I don't know. Do you think this tank can handle it? I'd really like to know your ideas, but do not purchase a kit, because you're going to end up wasting more money on lights, heaters, filters, upgrading from what you get, and unless you just want to keep with what they give you, then it's actually probably a pretty good deal. But even then, these big box stores will go on sale $1 a gallon, so you can get like a 55 gallon for $55, and then get a filter that will handle that. This heater here was pretty inexpensive, so you could do a very inexpensive setup. I mean, when you consider the cost that I put in with lights, filters, I mean, I've paid double the cost of just what the kit costs. And then the wood cabinet, it was more than the aquarium itself. The wooden cabinet was about $375. I think I got it off of it wasn't Temu, it was I forgot where I got it, but it's good. It's very, very good quality. Actually, I had a professional construction guy, handyman, come over and put it together. I had to pay him for it, but I wanted to make sure it was done right. And plus, I have some back issues and other things. But so it was done right, and yeah, it's very, very sturdy. I love it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I do not recommend purchasing the aquarium kits that you see that go on sale, particularly on Christmas or Thanksgiving, because that's exactly what I did. And even though in the end I think it's turned out okay, I think that it's not worth the money going that route. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.